Chords and Coffee number 48. Good morning. Here we go. Take you a quick drink. This one's from Marcus by request. Here it comes. About 2 years ago, we started this YouTube channel. Time flies. And this is back when Dan Palen was still alive. And Dan actually was the one that encouraged me to start making these videos. We started on Facebook. And then when I moved to Springfield, especially like this is like at the time, right in 2019 when the pandemic hit and everything else, you know, we were looking for ways to still stay connected. And so making YouTube videos seemed like a pretty good idea at the time. And so we started that. And originally it was more guitar demo focused. That was the whole idea. And the world was just really starting to ramp up and get crazy. You couldn't turn on the news without just feeling bad about the whole thing. In fact, I recommend turning off the news. Lucas Nelson wrote a great song called Turn Off the News and Build a Garden. Take a drink of coffee to that. Anyway, one morning I woke up. It was a Sunday morning. I remember this. And I got up and I had my guitar and I was just kind of noodling. And Yesterday by the Beatles, just kind of sort of somewhere in the meandering of my guitar noodlings, I started to go down this avenue and I realized, hey man, I'm kind of real close to playing Yesterday. Funny enough, if you don't know the story about that song, Paul McCartney writing that, I mean, he literally dreamed it. It's an amazing thing. Comment below if you want me to talk about that, or Google it, either which way. But I'm happy to discuss it. It's an incredible story. But all that to say this, about 2 years ago, and I want to say this was video number 6, I did a video of Yesterday and I played it. And of all the videos I've done, I would say, and look, we're just getting started. So if you're watching this, I don't know if this is present day or somewhere down in the future. But you know, that's a performance I'm just real proud of. Just because my heart was really in it, and the intention behind what I was playing, the intention was I just so desperately wanted to play something that could bring people together and just soothe just the flaming irritation of the world at that moment. So I just thought Yesterday might do it. So me and Danny Rogers, who is our guitar tech, he actually, funny enough, has a background in, he's done some production work on some movies. But he loves working on guitars and just kind of fell into the film thing. But he just grabbed his camera and we shot it. And if you watch the video, there's like extension cords laying there. I mean, we literally slapped that thing together so fast just to kind of get it out there. And I went and played it for Dan and Dan Palen. And he said, yeah, let's put that out there. That's really good. And that was like one of the first videos where we weren't trying to present any gear. We weren't trying to encourage or incite any kind of, sale or business. We just thought, you know what, let's just connect. And that started a whole trajectory where it's like, yeah, let's just use these videos to connect, which is what this is all about, because we need that, right? So a gentleman named Marcus, whom I have not met, commented, and occasionally I'll go back through some of the older videos and just scroll through just to see if anybody's commented. I actually don't run the YouTube channel, otherwise I'd be notified. My buddy Alec does, and he does a really good job of letting me know, but we're all wearing a lot of different hats, and so sometimes I'll just kind of scroll through and just see if anybody's said anything. And so Marcus had said, hey, I would love to know, how you're playing that. So Marcus, this is for you, my friend. Let's just jump right into it. So first things first, I'm actually playing it wrong. There's I think it's Adam Neely that made a video on this. The melody actually goes, yesterday. And I'm playing it in G, by the way. The original recording is in F, and I believe Paul McCartney has his acoustic tune down a whole step. And so he's playing it as though it is in G. Please comment below if that's not right, or if you know the actual particulars of that sort of thing. But the recording is in F, or thereabouts in F. A lot of those old recordings, they're they'd speed them up or slow them down just to kind of get the feel just how they want it. So thereabouts in F, but I'm doing it in G. And so it would be yesterday, but I'm going yesterday. There's a lot of people that play that as opposed to yesterday. So if you want to play it correct to the record, great. If you want to play it wrong like your buddy Nate, here it comes. All I'm doing is I got my pinky on the G string of the 4th fret, and I'm pulling off to the 2nd fret with my index finger on the same string on the G string while holding down the low E on the 3rd fret. Not worried about the A string, not worried about anything else. I've only got my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the E on that G note, and then I'm pulling off it, and I'm pulling off, so think of it as on the G string, 4-2 open, yesterday. Again, I know that's not the actual melody, but it sounded good to me, so it did it. So, now for this whole thing, I've got a pick that I'm holding and I'm plucking, doing this kind of hybrid picking. It's just hybrid picking, sort of it'd be Merle Travis picking if I had a thumb pick, but I just never warmed up to a thumb pick. I've tried many times. There's a guy named Randy that teaches lessons at the store who's an incredible guitar player. He's trying to get through my thick skull, doing the more accurate Merle Travis thing. But for right now, we're doing this. All right, here we go. So, and right here, I'm mainly picking the B string, the D string, and the E string. And this little motion happens a lot through this little arrangement where I pick a melody string or a top string, and then pick the bass string, and then pick another string, and then the bass string. And in the arrangement, if you go back and listen to it, by the way, the video is called Gibson, I had to write this down, it's Gibson 1960 Hummingbird Fixed Bridge. And if you don't know how to find it, it's fine, it's easy. I'll show you how right now. You go to hit the videos, like you're looking at our YouTube page, hit the video tab, and it'll show you all the videos I've ever done. Scroll all the way down till you see me holding a Gibson Hummingbird, and it says Gibson 1960 Hummingbird Fixed Bridge. There's some little like harmonic, weird little noodles at the top of that thing that was just something we kind of threw together really quick. But then you hear the yesterday, and then it goes to F sharp 11, because I'm playing an F sharp with my middle finger on the 2nd fret of the low E, skipping the A, ring fingers on the 2nd fret of the D, pinkies on the 2nd fret of the G, and then that open B. And that open B is part of the melody. It's the all my troubles seem so. So the all my, and the way you do the my is you got to take your pinky off of the 2nd fret of the G and put it on the 2nd fret of the B. So, right? That's where we're at. Now this next part, you're just using 2 fingers, and you're really only playing a couple notes at a time. It sounds busier than it actually is because, so index finger on the 2nd fret of the A, pinky on the 4th fret of the B. It sounds busier than it actually is because we're going back and forth between the A string, picking, and then plucking with the middle finger the B string. And so think of bass, so A string, B string, and then that's on the 4th fret of the B, right? And then moving the pinky to the 5th fret, and then the index finger is going to lay down to catch the 2nd fret of the high E, okay? So one more time. All my troubles, and that bulls is on the 3rd fret of the high E. So and so what's happening is I'm playing the melody, the B string, A string, B string, A string, high E on the 2nd fret with the index finger laying across there, A string again, that B note, and then 3rd fret of the high E. So the whole thing is right, so real quick recap. And then this part on the far away, I'm going to hit the low E string, and then from the 5th fret where my pinky already is, after this whole thing, I'm going to slide my pinky up to the 7th fret, and then when I slide it up to the 7th fret, I've got to put my index finger on the 4th fret of the G, and then middle finger is on the 5th fret of the D, while that E is in the bass. So it's like an E minor 9 kind of, but I'm playing it like this because I've got the F sharp up here. So, wait a minute. And that far away sounds, it reminds me of Karen Carpenter. Long ago, don't you remember when you told me you love me, baby? Remember that one? If you don't, that's fine, moving on. Anyway, you've got far away. And so, in our pinky finger on the 7th fret, the F sharp of the B string, and then 5th fret, and then this little guy here, this is basically like an E minor chord, right? So, far away, right? You got that? So pinky, 5, and then open on the B string. Okay? Then we've got just a good old cowboy C. You know this guy, right? Good old C chord. And the melody note is going to be on the high E open. And then good old D. Melody note is now on the B string of that 3rd fret. And then G sus. So, that little, that's just a hammer on the A string, 2nd fret on the A, open D, and then, so I don't know if you do this or not, but this is like one of the greatest things guitar can give to you. Keith Richards has made a whole career out of this. He did some other stuff too, but he really liked doing this too. Right? Where you take your index finger, you're on a G chord, this G here, but we're going to do cowboy G where we've got our index finger hanging loose. So 3rd fret on the low E with the ring finger, middle finger's on the 2nd fret of the A, pinky is on the 3rd fret of the high E. And then you're going to take these 2 fingers off and then put them down to make like a C over G. So index fingers on the 1st fret of the B, open G, middle fingers on the 2nd fret of the D. And then D over F sharp. And the way that I'm voicing this is index fingers on the 2nd fret of the low E. Kind of skipping the A, but it's okay if it rings. But I'm kind of skipping it because it's the index finger's kind of laying across it. But my D is ringing open. Middle finger's on the 2nd fret of the G. Pinky is on the 3rd fret of the B. So, I believe, I believe. And that's E minor. And then my pinky is going to hit the G at the 2nd fret and slide up to the 4th fret of the G string. G, and then to an A chord right there, or A sus. Either which one. A sus sounds okay. A sounds good too. So, let's see. And that's just a C, and I'm hammering on the 2nd fret of the D, and then sliding on the G string 2nd fret up to the 4th. Now sometimes if you watch that video, and I would love it if you did and commented on that video and on this one. These comments help. It helps push the videos out, so you're helping me when you do that. Thank you. Sometimes I'll go and put my pinky on the 4th fret of the G to hit that B, and then back to a G, okay? So that's that whole sheboing. The big thing is the, once you get the mechanics of that, to me, that's like the toughest part of the song. Now, on the B section, which you have the, so, there it is. So that part goes on the Y sheet, that F sharp 11 that we talked about just a minute ago, then do a good old B7, and I'm just doing a 3-finger B7. So middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A, index finger on the 1st fret of the D, and then ring finger on the 2nd fret of the G, open B. And then for the E minor, instead of doing this, I want to put the melody in it. So I've got the E minor like this. And so think of it as like almost a C major 7 without the bar. But you can play it like this or this, whatever you like. I did it like this. So I've got, and I have to go back and watch the video. Comment below if I'm telling you wrong here, because I want to make sure I take care of you. But I've got, I think, my middle finger on the 5th fret of the D, index finger on the 4th fret, or 5th fret of the D, index finger on the 4th fret of the G, and then ring finger on the B string of the 5th fret with an open E. That's an E minor. Did you know that? It's a good one. So, and the reason I'm doing this is because I want this note, the had to go, I want that melody to be on top of the chord, right? So then this D, we've talked about this D a lot, but here it comes again. So you've got index finger on the 2nd fret or the 5th fret of the high E on that A note, right? And then you've got pinky on the 7th fret of the B, and then ring finger on the 7th fret of the G. So, and then this C, this is super easy. It's just an index finger on the 8th fret of the low E, skipping the A, skipping the D, and then just going straight to the ring finger on the 9th fret of the G, and then middle finger on the 8th fret of the B. So one more time. And then I went to this A11 again. I didn't intentionally put the 11 shape in it. I just like the way it feels in the hands. And also, this is another example of I'm trying to keep the melody present, but also I'm trying to just get all the harmonic movement there. So I just went to this one. So that is middle finger on the 5th fret of the low E. So that's on that A note, skipping the A. Ring finger and pinky on the D string and G string right there like that. And then index finger you can put on the D note of the 3rd fret of the B. Or you can just leave it off, again on A minor 9. And then we talked about this one on Silent Night. This is a D chord. It is middle finger on the 10th fret of the B, and then ring finger on the 11th fret of the G, open D string, and that's wouldn't. And so that chord back to this guy that we just did, but this time I'm just playing just this, and then the G, and then going from this little almost 1-finger G, or the more than words G, and then on the D string chromatically, open 2, 3 for that dominant 7, and then back to the F sharp, B7, and then that little move, that's just B minor. I didn't really do the full 11. Think of it as just a B minor where I've got my middle finger on the 7th fret of the low E, skipping the A, ring finger on the D string 7th fret, pinky finger on the G string 7th fret, and just chromatically straight down. So B minor, B flat minor, A minor, and then I went to good old fashioned D, and then did this little, right? And that was, I remember trying to get that really loud. I can't remember if I did that with my pick or just with my thumb. All I'm doing when I do that kind of stuff, imagine your G chord an entire octave above, which would be way up here on the 15th fret, right? Like that. And all I'm doing is plucking with my thumb and then hovering with my index finger over the 15th fret, kind of imagining this. So 15, 15 as I'm holding these two guys down, and then plucking the 1st fret of the B as I'm holding this note down, and then the 12th fret for this open. So, and then back to, and that little that I did was just open A, G, and then F sharp minor, and then that little walk up. Thank you for requesting that, Marcus. I'm really glad you like that, and there's been others that have commented on that. I enjoyed playing it. I'm proud of that arrangement. And if you guys ever hear something or see something that we play on this, that I play on this, or any one of the folks that contribute to this YouTube channel, and you're like, hey, show me how to do that, of course, we would love to. It's another way for us to connect and stay connected. And I'll leave you with this. If you would like to visit other songs, great. But I would really love some requests for some Christmas songs, because this is that time of year. Speaking of that time of year, one PSA announcement. See these? I'm not trying to sell nothing. I'm trying to help my friends. If you don't have a humidifier in your guitar and you live somewhere where it's cold and the heater's kicking on, get you a humidifier. They're cheap. Okay? If you have questions, call me, 417-882-7006. I am such a stickler for keeping guitars properly humidified. You don't want to know why? Because I have accidentally killed a few guitars because they got too dry. Right? I don't want that to happen to you. So make sure you got humidifiers. You know, if you run them in your house, you want to be around 40%. But really, with as inexpensive as case humidifiers are, you just get one. I mean, it's a sponge, and I use this one all the time. This is the old Diodario one. They actually have one where the sponge is a little bit better, but I mean, we're not talking about cutting edge technology here, folks. It's pretty easy stuff, and your guitar will thank you for it, and you'll get to keep and take care of this investment for many, many, many years, okay? So, friends, don't let other friends not humidify their guitars. Love you. Thanks for watching these. Thanks for commenting. Lots of things are happening. We've got some exciting things. And I know I've said that before, but I think I've proven it to you that when I say exciting things are coming, they really are coming. So let me know what Christmas songs you're interested in, and we will get those together for you. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.